Guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the YouTube account and we are looking at our that is right guys, the fourth faction breakdown video. And today we're going to be looking at our Graveborn units. So it's pretty interesting. Most players have said that Lilith absolutely loves the Graveborns, which I agree guys. There isn't that many heroes within this formation that were not good. Now there could be a lot that are kind of phased out. We're going to look over at the tier list in just a minute, but overall a majority of the heroes within this faction itself were used at one point within AFK Arena, whether it be, early PvP or even campaign progression. So let's go ahead and take a look at the tier list. All right, guys, so here we have our tier list. Looking at tier maker, I'm going to break down the heroes that we have in here, kind of the utilization aspect, where we are seeing them built, and then we'll hop over and we'll go through actually building out the heroes. So we know early game, mid game, even late game, guys, Damon is still being utilized. Again, if you're running early game, mid game, he is the carry. He will carry all the way through the entire game, guys. Even looking at chapter 30 plus, where you start getting into two teams, he is still utilized in a lot of different formations. We also do see him sometimes within the Cursed Realm formations. We see him, I'm even still using him within the Temple Rift. Again, a very, very strong hero that scales with the enemy. Followed by Grez. Now, Grez has taken his spot, guys. Twisted Realm, Cursed Realm, he has utility within so many game modes. He has utility. Campaign formations, he is still utilized. He is probably one of the biggest priority heroes to build within AFK Arena. Absolutely need to build him up to 5 stars, guys, because he will push and help you move progression. Which followed by Oden. Oden is a hero, damage dealing, that scales incredibly well as you build him, guys. The higher that you build him out, when you start adding in signature items, when you start adding in furniture and engraving, his power only gets higher and higher and higher. Even though his primary is not damage dealing, he still does a lot. It is really energy disruption and formation movement that he is focused on, but still his damage is there, guys. Super, super high damage dealer. Followed by Pharrell. Now, Pharrell is actually one of the first heroes we got in AFK Arena, and he has been staple to the entire game, guys. He has an energy disintegration. He also does crowd control. He can lock down a bunch of teams. We still see him with a lot of utility within AFK Arena, even using him within the All-Negrez campaign formations, again, working incredibly well. Now, the buff and support. So first we look at Hodgkin. Hodgkin is a tank, but he is absolutely, guys, buffing crowd control. He works super, super well. Again, we see him in a ton of formations. We see him in the Temple Rift. We see him within the Cursed Realm. We see him in the Twisted Realm. There's a lot of places where Hodgkin shows up, including the Grand Hunt he has been in. Just an all-around very high utility tank that we see within the game. And then of course we have Silas and we have Desira. Silas of course adds an attack rating buff when you're building him out. Also has mitigation when you're doing his engraving. Very solid, strong hero to build for the support class. And then of course Desira. Desira not only has a kind of a heal over time, she has an immunity with her ultimate ability, but she also possesses the ability to do a damage mitigation, which again makes her a pretty strong priority. Now for formations, these two heroes go hand in hand, guys. If you have ever run the Thorn Cheese, then you have run Lorzen, you have run Kelthar, which is the reason why we do build them within formations. Two, again, perfectly synergized heroes within formations, within meta comps that we see even running into higher endgame chapters. The Thorn Cheese is alive and well, guys. We also do see this utility within the Graveborn Tower. We see it used a lot, and also within the King's Tower with the Thorn Cheese itself. Now, looking at our niche heroes, these are the heroes that kind of have a fit in here and there within AFK Arena. They don't really fall into many formations, but again, you see them utilized within quite a few aspects of AFK Arena. First one, of course, I'm kind of on the fence because I like how well Treznar works, but he does have to be built out quite a bit. Big thing with him, guys, is the plus 60 engraving. The plus 30 mitigates healing, which is really big, guys. Plus 60 mitigates damage. As a ranger class, he does possess the immunity, which is the reason why a lot of players build him out. We see him appear in some Cursed Realm formations. We also do see him within the Temple Rift. We see him within PvP, very, very heavy PvP. Then, of course, the Graveborn Tower, guys, does incredibly well, which is similar to Kayleen. PvP does well, Graveborn Tower does well. We see her in Curse Realm formations on occasion. We also see her kind of appear in formations here and there, but overall not really used within campaign formations, not regular formations, which is the same with Torn. So Torn was built around Torn and Moriel. So actually the movement factor that we've seen with Torn, he was used, I believe at this point within the Cursed Realm, he is being replaced. If you've been running it, it will still work incredibly well, but I believe there are some formations that are going to be replacing the Moriel Torn combination as we continue to get more heroes within AFK Arena. Now here we have Theowen. Theowen, of course, has an immunity as she haunts or she infects the target. She cannot take damage, which is one of the big reasons, guys. Abyssal Expedition, she does very well within the tower. She does a significant amount of damage because, again, she is untargetable, which makes her pretty unique in her abilities. We used to see her again within a lot of PvP. We don't any longer. She's been kind of replaced, but in niche formations, we do see her every now and then, which is the exact same with Fane. Fane, a lot of players that have him built either use him quite a bit within the tower, but again, regular formations, we do not see him. Within the Curse Realm, he was in a comp. He is no longer in a comp, which kind of puts him more into this tower aspect, guys. It seems like possibly PvP, depending on what you're running, but overall, it seems he is kind of dropping back into the tower. I think when we do get the Awakened Graveborn, you're going to see the exact same, depending on the dynamic, that he could either move up or down within the tier list, but I think the tower is mainly where players are utilizing him. Now, Isabella used to be one of the dominant heroes within the AFK Arena. She has been since replaced. We've seen her within some Curse Realm comps. Again, she has been since replaced, which is unfortunate. We see her in the Twisted Realm, but again, has been replaced, kind of lowered down to the tower. Same with Isolde. Isolde used to be Twisted Realm. Isolde used to be Cursed Realm. I don't think he runs into any best in slot formations in there anymore, which is similar to Nara. Nara, of course, very high crowd control, has the insta-kill. When she came out, guys, she was a #1 priority to build. Since the release, she has just kind of tumbled down the tier list, and she remains into very kind of niche tower formations that we do see her in, which is the exact same for Shamira. Shamira used to be one of the absolute strongest carries within AFK Arena. Before we got Damon, Shamira was the carry. If you guys remember years ago, she was always the go-to, guys. In PvP, she was the go-to. Similar to the regular version of Brutus, she was absolute priority #1 once upon a time, which now it is short of using her in the tower, which a lot of players don't even utilize her in the tower. When you get into 3 comps, she can be kind of a filler or damage filler, but overall her damage has not scaled and does not scale very well. And then we have Baden, guys. Baden was a really good hero kind of when he came out, with the ability to summon his shadows with the Shadow Strike ability, things of that nature. Since then, guys, he has went absolutely nowhere. His minions will die to AoE damage, and they all die together. They get one-shotted. He doesn't scale enough. He doesn't have enough damage mitigation to actually keep them alive. Again, we've seen the resurgence somewhat within some of the comps. I'm wondering if the new Wilder hero might bring him back a little bit. But overall, guys, we do not see him used anywhere. I don't even use him in the tower anymore. He was in a Cursed Realm comp. He was in a Twisted Realm comp. Now he is not utilized in either of them, putting him almost to the no use or possible even the lower tower category. So let's take a look at actually building these heroes out. All right, guys, so now we're going to run through the actual builds for the Graveborn heroes themselves, show you where you need to build them. Now, Grez, when you start building them up, guys, again, because of his utility, 30960 is absolutely going to be a big priority, guys. Not just for the abilities, but for the stats. He is a huge priority. Again, he is run in Twisted Realm. He is run in the Curse Realm. We see him within the Temporal Rift. We also do see him within campaign formations. A very high priority to build out, which is the same with Oden, guys. 30960 is where you want to build him. because he is a caster, because he is damage dealer, the higher that you build him out, the better he is going to perform. And he does have a significant damage amplification when you continue to build him out, including, again, the plus 60 engraving, significantly increase the skill damage. Of course, boosting up the attack rating, boosting up the cast speed. He attacks super fast, guys. You do have to buy him a little bit of time, but once, if he goes untouched, if he goes unchecked, Oden will burn down comps super fast. In addition, guys, when his disruption, his formation disruption, he can keep heroes kind of locked down, which is the reason why he is utilized within the Cursed Realm comps that he is. Now, looking here at Isolde, again, this is a hero that used to be a big priority when it came to the Twisted Realm. Since then, he has been kind of replaced. He was running the Burning Brute, which is the reason why I built him. As of now, guys, he's been kind of lowered down to the tower. Does incredibly well with the tower if you can get him to scale. But overall, guys, the plus 30 signature item on him, the 9 of 9, will suit him well. I wouldn't engrave him, again, just because he has fallen so far down the priority list. There's not a big reason to push the engraving. Now, Thorin, plus 30 signature item, 9 of 9 furniture is where you want to build him, guys. One thing with Thorin, absolutely do not engrave him. This is actually a big mistake in the retaliation ability that Thorin possesses. There is absolutely no reason to engrave this hero, and you're actually doing kind of counterproductive if you are building him out with the engraving aspect, because it does not work as well. It is counterintuitive because he doesn't take as much damage within here. So again, guys, 309 is where you want to ultimately build Thorin up to. Which brings Silence, guys, plus 30 signature item on him. Absolutely, this is the attack boost that he has. Then, of course, you want to put 9 of 9 furniture on him. This can be utilized by ranged allied, which is exactly what you want to do, guys. So 309, big priority for him. As far as the engraving, it helps a little bit, this 5% increase in healing with the gas cloud. The mitigation has a very small factor. Big thing with Silas, guys, is the gas clouds do not stack. So that is very unfortunate, and Lilith has confirmed that that is the case, guys, that if you have 2 or 3 gas clouds up, this mitigation will not stack, making it not as important to actually build them out much higher. So 309 will work for Silas very well. Same with Damon, guys. 309 will work if you get him to the plus 30 engraving. This can help a little bit, but overall, again, there's not a huge priority to build him out with the engraving, but 309 definitely will help. 209 when you start will work incredibly well. Again, the duration of the blood shield is increased, which of course is the primary aspect that keeps him alive. Same with the furniture, guys. You want to build out the furniture just because of the damage amplification that he gets out of here. Definitely well worth it when you're building him out. Isabella, again, a hero that I built out. As you can see, guys, we're using her within the Temporal Rift in the Cursed Realm. She has since been replaced, which means she's short of the tower. There's no other place that we're utilizing her. She was actually one of the few heroes that they reworked. She did a ton of damage for a little bit of time, and now she is back to doing absolutely nothing, guys. Unfortunately, she has just been sidelined. No reason to build her past probably this plus 20 signature item. Didn't put furniture on her. I wouldn't engrave her. Again, just utilization for the tower itself. Same with Shamira, guys. Plus 20 signature item. Really only place you need her. Only thing you're going to use her for is tower formations. Even then, I don't really use her in the tower anymore. Could even pop in a Baden depending on the formation. But overall, guys, she has kind of tumbled down to that tower formation. Same with Baden. Baden, again, I was building up. As you can see, guys, plus 30. We were doing 9 of 9. He has since dropped out of the Twisted Realm and the Cursed Realm. Not really any utility short of that, guys. Might see him in a random formation every now and then, but overall, doesn't seem like he is going to be utilized. Now, on a side note, everyone is saying, guys, that he is going to be the Awakened hero. So we are going to have possibly, and again, it has not been confirmed from Lilith, that we are going to have the Awakened version of Baden. But again, looking at what Dali is saying, look at the speculation over on Reddit and Discord. A lot of players are saying the Awakened version of Baden is coming. This version, guys, plus 20 signature item, really all that you need. to essentially not use the hero whatsoever if you do want to build it. Now looking at Torn, again, he was a hero that was utilized. We built him almost to this 9 of 9 furniture with the Moreel and the Torn comp. Since then, it has been replaced as the best in slot within the Cursed Realm, which means you're going to see more or less and less utility of Torn and Moreel being run together. You'll still see it every now and then, and maybe he will find a place, which is the reason why we did build him up a little bit further. But again, it seems like a lot of these heroes are losing their slots within the campaign formations that they used to run, or the Cursed Realm formations that they used to run. Now, Hodgkin, guys, absolutely build him up. Plus 20 signature item is what you want to do. Hodgkin's one most injured ally shall receive 15% of the max health values. Plus 30 on him doesn't really make a big difference because I'm not carrying him for damage. But 9 of 9 furniture, guys, you want to put on Hodgkin. This is pretty good. Again, dealing also with the fact that the survivability issues. So Hodgkin usually runs back line, even though he is a tank. But the two big things with him, guys, is of course the Jolly Roger, and then I believe the ultimate ability, which of course does a Terrify, which is awesome right here. They're terrified for 3.5 seconds. That is the main reason players build Hodgkin, is for that buff aspect and the crowd control aspect. As a tank, he is horrible. He will get run over, guys, and he will die. Brings us to Treznar. Treznar, again, is a hero. You have to have the plus 30 signature item to pick up this immunity, which is what you want to, guys. A 4-second immunity in this game is pretty big, guys. Plus 30 signature item. Furniture, you want to build on him, and engraving, you want to build on him. So all of them, guys, again, dealing with the survivability that he has. You want to try to keep him as mounted as long as possible. The plus 30 gives this healing mitigation, actually doesn't allow the enemy to heal. And then, of course, the plus 60 mitigates all frontal damage, which is the reason why players build him, guys. So 30960 is how you're going to build Treznar if you're using him, if you are building him out. Pharrell, plus 30, 9 of 9. Absolutely, guys. Not really a big push for the engraving aspect. It does do the Terrify for 1 additional second, but when there are 3 enemies, when there are fewer than 3 enemies terrified, which means it could be somewhat situational if you're building it out, but plus 30 signature item, 9 of 9 furniture for Pharrell. Absolutely, guys, it is a big priority. Now, Kelthar, I built Kelthar up a little bit again for that Thorn Cheese aspect because he does come back as a spectral form, which allows him to do a considerable amount of damage. Overall, guys, plus 20 signature item on him will work. Don't really need the engraving. Do not really need the furniture either. This is not a huge piece because, again, you're not utilizing him really for the damage aspect that he's doing. It is just still being there, doing damage once he has died. Now, Nara, plus 20 signature item. 3 of 9 used to be a priority for her. This was good because of the Terrify that they put in here. But ultimately, guys, she is utilized in the tower. I don't see her anywhere else. So 20 or 203 would really be ideal. Again, so you get a little bit more of the crowd control aspect within the tower. Can make a difference in the Graveborn tower, but outside of that, she is not used really anywhere. Which Desire, guys, plus 30 signature item. 9 of 9 furniture. This is the 16% damage mitigation that she provides in there. Furniture, big priority for her as well, right here, because the Oceanic Mist, the enemy will not receive a majority of buffs, which is pretty good. And they also get this Mark of Hatred with the 3 of 9. Building her out, guys, plus 30 signature item. Absolutely. Don't really need the engraving. Same with Theowen, as a plus 20 signature item. If you're building her out for something like the Abyssal Expedition, this could make a difference if you're building her out. But again, being a whale, you could build her out. I use her within the tower. That's really the only place I do. But again, in the Abyssal Expedition, because she is a ranger, she can go immune. A lot of players were utilizing her for the boss formations just because it's kind of a cheese because, again, she can't die. Does a considerable amount of damage when you stack your badges or your relics behind it, which works incredibly well with her. But again, the plus 20 is really all that you need on Theowen. And then Fane, I'm again kind of on the fence for him. Because I haven't maxed out in the Graveborn account, but I don't see a ton of utility, and I don't see him used in regular formations. Short of the Graveborn Tower is where we usually see him, but outside of there, again, you're not seeing him in Twisted Realm, Cursed Realm. We're not seeing him in the Temporal Rift. We're not seeing him in the Abyssal Expedition. So many formations, we are not seeing him present at all, which is kind of why I'm on the fence with building him, but definitely for towers, he will work well. Similar to Kayleen. Now, Kayleen is a hero, guys, that does a lot of crowd control. We've seen her in Cursed Realm formations. She has since been replaced, just like I say for a ton of these heroes, guys. As they get phased out over time, there's actually other heroes that are replacing them. So she still does have a pretty strong slot within PvP. Building her out because she is a mage, guys. The higher you build her, the better she is going to perform. Even when it comes to this plus 60 or plus 30 engraving, guys, the Terrified ability, very, very strong. And then, of course, right here, allied heroes deal 50% more damage to the tortured enemy. This can really do a big damage amplification with her in formations. But again, utilizing her within the tower is really where I see her. Tower and PvP are the only places that she's really showing up. Short of that, I don't see her in campaign formations. Again, Twisted Realm, Cursed Realm, I don't see her, as well as the Rift. I do not see her either. All right, guys, so that'll do it for the Graveborn heroes. I hope I gave a little bit of insight. Again, I wanted to kind of further break down the tier list, see what they look at, just because we have so many heroes in here, guys. It is incredible the amount of heroes we have in AFK Arena currently. Remember, we started this game 3 years ago with 12 heroes, 4 factions, and we have grown absolutely crazy build and crazy growth after that. So like I said, guys, that'll do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and as always, thank you guys for watching.